Morning guys, so I'm actually under here by the little underground bridge as you're coming across. You're heading out that way to get out of Dunedin, and this is one of the little murals which they've done around Dunedin. This is one of the early ones before they felt the need to get outside Artiston, but this is the clock tower. This is the Otago clock tower, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of a website posts on this and associated sort of power base of Dunedin. This is old Maxwell Berry, the architecture of Otago University Clock, the tower complex, built in 1879. And I'm going to be doing about one of three videos today, which kind of relate or come back in some way to clock tower. But what we're really talking about is the nature or the core of the Old Boys network. Now I'm going to come up with terms like Freemasonry and so on, which immediately always leads everyone to think, oh my god, the New World Order, Illuminati. Hopefully that's actually not kind of where I'm coming from today. This is the Leaf River Valley there, and carries on up that way up there, supplies all the way through, get it up to water reserves up there. Water is power. Dunedin is university town. We'll get into all of that kind of stuff a little bit later on. But getting back to this whole point, like, you know, when people turn around and sort of they go Freemasonry, they get a little bit hysterical. My view on Freemasonry is that I don't necessarily think per se they are the end all and be all. I mean, that's withstanding the fact that anyone who's ever done actually in-depth researching into that topic, if they want to go down the conspiracy rabbit hole, then you've got the fact that Masonry is itself, over the several hundred years of existence, controversial about when exactly that occurred, it's been infiltrated in itself many numerous times. The Rosicrucians, Aleister Crowley's Golden Dawn, and I think this was and the infamous Bavarian Illuminati, which at one point did actually exist. So, you know, it's a little bit like looking at these things. When you look at any organisation, what you're seeing is you get, say, something like the Rotaries, the training wells, becomes a really good recruiting ground for things like the Lions, which then in turn become a very recruiting ground for things like the Freemasonry, and so on and so on and so on. So all that you're really talking about is these are vehicles which facilitate the centralisation of power and nepotism in general. And I think that's sort of the sad thing when people get all excited about Freemasonry or they dismiss out of hand, is that they're not having that discussion to say, well, wait a minute, what is this telling us about the power structure and the foundation blocks of the nature of power? So today, when I go around looking at these things, you know, I'm not trying to point out some big huge global conspiracy per se. All I'm trying to show you is, it's things that people walk past every day without any real thought, but they actually are very much the archaeology of the nature of which the power within that society works. Today, we'll be focusing on these things which have a lot of crossover with Freemasonry. I'll be talking about this. But, you know, as I said, there are other organisations, this is true. I'm just picking on these guys today because I happen to live in Dunedin, which is a Scottish town, very much tied up with the Old Boys Scottish culture, which includes the what they call in Freemasonry is the Scottish Rite. So that's why you have in Dunedin places like Roslyn, St Clair, Ravensbourne, which are all named after that particular influence of which our colonial settlers had when they first came to New Zealand. It's still very fascinating because just the esoterics and the symbolism involved in it makes for quite a fascinating little story. So come and have a little walk with me around my Dunedin, and I'll show you some fascinating things that most people probably walk past and never pay any attention to.